Hey everyone, welcome to Lost Connection Tarot. I'm Benjamin Snavely, and this is your daily meditative tarot reading for Tuesday, October 6, 2020. Today I will be using the Ethereal Visions tarot deck by Matt Hughes. Today we focus on the theme of the day, the energy of the day. Then we will look at the energy that we have the most control over. Then we'll have look at the energy that we don't need to worry about. It's there, but we don't need to focus on it, worry about it, give credence to, just let it do its own thing. And that's kind of good. We already have too many things we need to focus on in our daily life, so one less thing to focus on is quite nice. But to be aware of it is still important. And then finally, let's pull a fourth card. And that fourth card is if we put the right action to the energy that is most prevalent today and that we need to put our awareness, focus, and energy on, what is the most likely outcome of us putting right action into that type of energy? Now, what is right action? Well, that is basically your inner wisdom and listening to your inner guide, inner wisdom, and that will always give you the right answer on how to proceed with any endeavor. Okay? So again, this is a reading for anybody that is heeding or hearing the message. It is for all signs of the zodiac. This is for Tuesday, October the 6th, 2020. What is the theme of the day? What is the energy most prevalent that I need to put my focus and energy on? What is the energy that I don't need to worry about, therefore don't need to do anything to it? And then finally, what's the most likely outcome by me putting right actions towards the energy I need to focus on, right? All right. Again, for anybody listening, all signs of the zodiac. So here's the theme of the day. Here is the energy we need to put our focus on. Here's the energy we don't need to worry about. And then here is the most likely outcome by us putting our focus on that energy. All right, so here we go. The energy of the day is the Queen of Pentacles. So Pentacles represent manifestation of productivity on earth. It represents career, family, wealth, money, status, wardrobe choices, cars, gadgets, whatever, anything tangible, right? Queen of Pentacle, this woman would be the yin, the receptive, the feminine, the water essence of the Pentacle suit. So think of cool, calm, and collected, and receiving truth in the wind, and then heeding its message. So you can think of, I guess, like someone who has a green thumb, someone who is one with nature, who is naturally beautiful and radiant, and is giving, and just very at peace with themselves, very balanced, very wise, very intuitive, emotionally stable, has lots of money but doesn't flaunt it, real salt of the earth type of person, very grounded, very practical, knows when to work, when to play, when to sing, when to dance, kind of has a lightness in her step and the way she talks. And this is the energy, right? This is the vibe of the day. So the Queen of Pentacles is someone who sits in her bounty and gives. Think of Mother Earth. Think of Gaia. So the King of Pentacles would be kind of like a wise, industrious person who is a philanthropist, while the Queen of Pentacles is someone that has dirty fingernails but still has her nails done, but doesn't worry about getting her nails done like it's homemade. Does it because she likes doing it, because she likes doing art, right? And so she's artsy and crafty, and she probably has a hand spun sweater, and she's got dream catchers, and she's got spider webs in her walls because they eat the bugs that she doesn't want in her house. Regardless of how clean the house is, it still is a place for other living things as well. It's not sterilized, right? It's alive and it's living. And this is who this woman embodies. She takes care of all creatures, great and small, and she recognizes the value that each thing or entity has and represents, and nothing too big or too small goes unnoticed. So the smallest gesture goes a long way with her, and she does that, and she reciprocates that while she also gives. And she doesn't judge. Whatever you can give is what you can give, regardless of what she may give you. But she is just she's someone that wants to share, and that's the theme of the day. The theme of the day is being receptive and listening to nature and understanding how the seasons work and how the seasons change, and knowing when to plant and knowing when to strike for gold, and knowing when to save because there's going to be a drought. It's basically heeding the call of all of the signs and omens that you're getting, and listening to your intuition, and knowing when to move forward, when to stand still, when to retreat, regroup, reassess. It's simply recognizing that no movement is bad movement as long as you are paying attention to your own internal signs as well as the signs all around you. And when you do that, good things happen, and you start recognizing the abundance that there is all around you, and then you're able to give that energy out and receive it at the same time. So this is the energy of the day. So a very positive energy where things are kind of humming along, and everything's working in a symbiotic, cohesive relationship, and everything is interlocking together, and everything is making sense, and everything has a piece, and nothing is missing, right? Because we're not just in our head, we're not just in our ego. Our ego or our logic is feeding our emotions, and our emotions are enlivening our spirit, and our spirit is the one that is moving forward into earth with all other things in support of how it is currently currently experiencing the world, right? So the energy that we have the most control over and that we need to put our focus on is the Five of Swords, but it's in reverse. So here you see a man, a young boy, and he has his five swords, and he has partners or someone in the background with their backs turned, right? And if the five is all about chaos, it's all about destruction, it's all about things disintegrating and going away. Therefore, something new can be created. And at the five, especially with swords, swords represent our logic, our reason, our linear functions, kind of like our algorithms in our brain. And swords also can cut. They pierce through falsehoods and BS and get to the heart of the matter. And they can be piercing, and they can be strengthened, they can be raw, and they can be sterile. I mean, there's so many things. They can be quick. And so with the Five of Swords, it is someone who is fighting their own fears and feeling lost because everybody else is also fighting with their fear, and then therefore everybody is fighting from fear and through fear, and therefore no one is hearing or listening to each other because everybody's fear is overtaking their head, and they're not being able to listen to their intuitive self or their heart. So we got this reversed. And so the Five of Swords reversed is laying down your ego and not battling this logical thing that you think is important, like an ideology, right? Whether you're Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Green Party, no nothing party, whatever, right? Is it worth friendships and families and all of that? To some degree, yes. To some degree, no. But also, if you recognize that we are all one, then we are literally just battling ourselves, and it's just our egos battling. It's our ideologies saying this thing is better because I have this information and I know something that you don't know, and therefore I'm morally superior than you. And only if you knew and saw and believed what I did, then you would be on my side. But you're not, because you're letting fear dictate and cloud your judgment, right? And at the Five of Swords reversed, it's saying, I'm not going to engage in this fight. I am not going to let these fears and anxieties overtake and get a grip of me where I lose sense of self and I forget the bigger picture that, hey, we are human beings and we are on the same team and we all bleed the same blood, and that we all come from the same kiln, and we're all made in the same manner, right? It's our logic, and it's how we categorize and systemize Earth and our experiences, is where we create these us versus them categories. When we look at each other and say, oh, he's taller, he's fatter, he's darker skin, lighter skin, smarter, not smarter, richer, not richer, and we start judging ourselves based on everything that is out there, right? We're giving our ego basically fuel for fire, and we are more than what we systematically categorize in our head. We're not just a number, we're not just a body living this life. We're not just an employee. We're not just this or that or whatever people have grouped us in. We are more than that, right? And the thing that we have the most control over today is seeing ourselves and other people as more than their ideas, okay? Because that's just what they believe based on their experiences, on what they've heard, on their social conditioning, on what they haven't shedded yet, a falsehood that they haven't shedded. We all are growing at different rates, and someone who is 15 may be on their path farther than a 65-year-old man or woman, and that's okay, because everybody learns at a different pace, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we should all recognize that we are all learning more about ourselves and about life and about our journey as we go through it. And so the idea that we would judge someone and say, I am in a better position than they are, or they're in a better position than me, is just silly. I mean, think of all the jobs that you've had. Think of all the money that you've had. Think of all the relationships that you've had. Think of all the ups and downs that you've had. And the idea that you are better or know something more than someone else is ludicrous. So this is something you can get away with today. You can just throw it away, and this is where you need to put your focus, is I am more than my ideologies. I am more than my beliefs. And that other person that does not agree with me, that fights passionately for whatever their belief is, we have way more in common than our differences in ideological matters. All right? So that is what we have the most control over. Now, what do we have the least control over? Apparently, news coming in. So the Eight of Wands basically is like lightning striking and waking up your spirit and saying, oh man, I should be doing this and I should be going here. And it means like sudden movement, sudden travel, sudden change. Like you're going in this one direction and you're like, I'm going to go be a doctor and I'm going to have 2.5 kids and I'm going to have a Ferrari and 4.5 baths and a jacuzzi in my backyard or whatever. You've planned it all out. And then you just have this awakening. And this awakening says, no, you should go be a doctor in, some place in Papua New Guinea or whatever, and then you go and you do that, and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to go help other people, and then you realize, no, they're actually going to help you, and you're going to learn more about yourself and who you are than you giving them medical treatment. And I'm not saying that you're not going to help them, you are, but it's this type of exchange. You thought you went out there to help them, and in the end, you're the one that is getting diagnosed and saying, here are your ailments and here's your cure. And all I'm saying is that's the type of information that's coming in today that we have no control over, and that's what the Eight of Wands signifies. It's basically a lightning strike of information that kind of awakens us and says, oh, here's some truth, and it changes us to such a degree that we no longer can continue on our path that we had been on just a moment before. All right. Now, this deck is interesting because it adds 2 extra cards to the end of the major arcana. And in tarot cards, you have the major and the minor arcana. The minor arcana is where you have the 4 suits of fire, which are wands, cups, water, earth, pentacles, and air or wind, swords. And then the major arcana is kind of like life stages. So here in this deck, they have brought 2 extra cards. And I'm unfamiliar with them, even though this is my deck. I'm very new using this, and this is the first time I've actually done the tarot and drawn this card. And we received the Well reversed. Now this is the result of us paying attention to the 5 of Swords. Okay, so let's find out what the Well is. The Well, and it comes after the World. So it says the Well is the birthplace of ideas, inspiration, and transformation. All things are birthed from this creatrix, and knowledge flows freely to those who seek it. So the idea that you have the most control over, am I going to continue to battle my logic, my reason, and my beliefs on other people, and am I going to continue to make separations and see the differences in each other, or am I going to recognize all of the similarities that we have regardless of these ideological ideas that we are now battling against, simply because of our upbringing is different, because our experiences are different, because our social conditioning is different. So we got the Well, and it's in reverse. And so the Well upright means nurturing, opportunity, nature, and creativity. Reversed, it means destruction, endings, cold, and stagnant. So that sounds kind of like the Tower upright, so to speak. Okay, but it's different. So destruction. So you're gonna destroy, and the Well represents. It's kind of like the I Ching. The Well represents your intuition, your subconscious, where you pull to gather sustenance. Right, the Well, and no matter where you dig deep inside the earth, and you pull life-giving sustenance that's cool, clear, liquid. And this represents our emotion. So the Well reversed would be you destroying that Well, you destroying that sustenance, or you not recognizing where your sustenance comes from, right? The idea that you're the voices that you're thinking is coming from somewhere else. Like you're trying to tune into the frequency of what you're listening to, but you can't find where it is. So it's like you're searching in the dark for this information, this sustenance, and therefore you destroy something or you end it because you're not recognizing. But the Well is forever us. It can always be tapped over and over again. You can go through your rocky bottoms. You can be almost at your brink, and all you have to do is want to search, is want to find, and be patient enough to let go of control and to give in, and eventually things will spring out for you to feed off of, which is your own internal archetypes and messages and symbols that want to explain who it is. But first, it's going to speak in a cryptic language that you don't understand. So the energy, the result of us not looking at our logic and not letting our logic define us, and us being more than our logic, means that maybe you are going to destroy or end where you thought you were getting this information. Or you could just not listen to it. Either way, you have to recognize that your source, your truth, does not come from your head. Okay? That there are things larger than logic. You and then you're going to go through multiple stages. You may not believe me. You're going to have to figure it out for yourself, and that's fine. Experience is truly important. But today, depending on the work that you do and recognizing that you are more than the thoughts in your head, that you should stop listening to the voices in your head and not try to control them, but surrender. Like, let them be. Like, let them run around. Let you find out that is actually poison, that is not the well, that is not the thing that sustains you, right? It doesn't give you positivity. No, you have to trick your brain into positivity. You have to find yourself, and you have to find love, and you have to find positivity deep inside your well. And if you think it's coming from here, that's not it. This is where anxiety and fear and jealousy and rage and categorization happens, and those are things that you don't need. When you want to connect with a human, you connect here. You don't connect here. That's just a mentally stimulating conversation that makes you ponder or think. But love and connection comes from inside of us and from our heart. And so the well reverse just makes me think that it's up to you today where you're going to receive your message. You can continue to believe that you're going to receive all knowledge and all insight from your logic, but that's only going to get you so far. Or you can slowly start surrendering to everything that's bubbling up inside of you and try not to control it. Let it speak to you, and eventually you will find where those voices are coming from, where that information is coming from, and then you can actually tap into those powers, and you can then be invigorated and sustained from that life-giving source instead of being overwhelmed, right? Because when you first find out, you may drown from the spring, from the well. And so it's just, you need to open up a little at a time and understand it and trust it first before you dive deep into the waters of your subconscious. So it's all about listening to the energy and listening to the omens and the signs and being one with nature and being in the cosmic flow of energy exchange, right? Something is going to come and just hit you, and it's going to be knowledge, and you're not going to know where it's going to come from. Recognize that we are more than our thoughts. Recognize that we are more than our ego and our ideologies. And that way you can start finding where those true messages are coming from, and then you can dig a better well, or destroy the false sustenance that you have been receiving that has not led to positivity, and start finding the truth, which is down deep below. Okay, so good luck. Looking at numbers, we have 8 and we have 5. 8 and 5 is 13. A queen is 1. So 13 and 1 is 14. And then the well is 22. So, oh my goodness, 22 and 8 is 30. 35, 36, 3 and 6 is 9. And this is another day of spirituality and completion. So a lot of things are coming to a head. Things are closing. We're going through a lot of doors, leaving old things behind and moving into new ways of living. So simply be aware of your energies today. Be aware of what you control and what you don't control. And please have a great day. My name is Benjamin Snavely, and this was Lost Connection Tarot. Have a great day. Bye.